GWI celebrates International Men's Day. New political party announces new supporter. In the region, 1 month on, protests in Chile persist despite government concessions. And internationally, protesters celebrate as the Lebanon parliament session postponed. Greetings and welcome to this edition of Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Today is recognized as International Men's Day. In celebration of the occasion, Guyana Water Incorporated recognized the contributions of the men of the company. Here's more from George Gonzalez.
On Tuesday, Guyana Water Incorporated joined the rest of the world in celebrating International Men's Day. To mark the occasion, the management of GWI hosted a day of festivities to honor the hard-working men of the company. CEO of GWI, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, encouraged the men in the audience to take the day to reflect on the impact they make on their loved ones.
Talk about you, how she sees you. Talk to your wife, how she sees you. And if you're bold enough, to your children. Because we as men sometimes don't do much of the discourse, the talking in the family. And sometimes we don't do much of the listening that will cause us to reflect.
GWI's staff is predominantly male. One of those men, Nyantanand Manbod, was proud of the men who stepped up to fulfill their roles as men in society.
You have so many people around you that look towards you as a man, because our role as man from creation is to be the head. We are supposed to be foundation that your wife can stand on, your children, and this is missing a lot in men today. Being that foundation, being that role model.
International Men's Day is celebrated every November 19th. It is an occasion to celebrate boys' and men's achievements and contributions, in particular for their contributions to community, family, marriage, and childcare. The theme for this year's celebration is Making a Difference for Men and Boys. This year's theme focuses on promoting the need to value men and boys and help people make practical improvements in men and boys' health and well-being. Channel 2 Headline News, George Gonzalez.
Thanks, George. Australian mining company Troy Resources has taken a decision to dismiss almost 400 workers, a month after it was ordered by the government to suspend major parts of its operations following the death of one of its employees. According to an internal memo that was circulated, workers who were initially sent off were told that they would be released by the company as of this week and pay their severance by Friday, November 22nd. The company kept over 100 of the remaining employees at its mining operation in Kuruni, Region 7, Cuyuni-Mazaruni. However, the persons who were let go would be given first preference for employment as the company ramps up its operations at their Kuruni site. During its weekly press conference, recently founded party Change Guyana announced that they have received an endorsement from a competing hotel proprietor. Esther Sobers tells us why in this report.
The newly formed Change Guyana political party, during its weekly press conference, announced their endorsement from businessman Sesir Narain, the writer of Arcar Resort, located in Versailles, West Bank, Denraro, who is acknowledging that Guyana needs a constitutional change and the Change Guyana party is a party for the people.
Should be proud to say we are Guyanese, and the Change Guyana party hope to get people to start changing their thinking. They are first and foremost Guyanese, and they can be anything else afterwards, because you have to love Guyana to not worry about your race qualification to be a Guyanese. You don't need a race qualification to be a Guyanese. You just have to love Guyana, and then you will act in a way that will preserve the best interest of Guyanese.
Sundarai further alluded that Change Guyana party will be accountable governance, as the businessman opined that the solution to Guyanese problem is democracy and empowering the people of the country.
You can only have accountable governance in a democratic society. Power must go back to the people. Change Guyana will help to facilitate power to go back to the people where it belongs. This is the real change that the Change Guyana Party is promising. Constitutional reform has been tried, and despite many changes, we now have a government for almost a year without a real legal mandate to govern. More reform has been promised, but the players are only promising. They're not doing. The promise before they go in. You send them in. They go in, we like what we got. We're going to keep what we get. We didn't get time to change it. And that is exactly what's happening. You can only have accountable governance in a democratic society.
Change Guyana was founded by businessman Robert Badal, who plans to run for the presidency of Guyana with the chartered accountant Nigel Hines as his prime ministerial candidate, who is vowing to change the landscape of politics in Guyana. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. When we return, 1 month on, protests in Chile persist despite government concessions. And internationally, protesters celebrate as the Lebanon parliament session postponed.
Are you running out of ideas of what gift to buy? Scared of getting the wrong size or color or something they already have? Why not try a gift certificate from John Lewis Styles? Available in any dollar value and can be used towards clothing, shoes, and accessories. Let the person choose exactly what they want and they'll definitely be happy. Gift certificates can also be used as employee bonuses, sales incentives, and office gift exchanges. So try our gift certificates today. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Are you kidding me? Really? So wrong. That is not what we were taught at the Green Generation Guyana camp.
Is this the correct way to do it? Drivers, you have two options that you can use. First, you can temporarily put your empty plastic bottles in the trunk of your vehicle or on the ground on the passenger side next to you. Or secondly, place them in the nearest garbage bin you see. We need you to play your part in helping us keep the environment clean and healthy. A message from the Ministry of Communities, Green Generation Guyana Sanitation Program. For more information, please contact us on 592-227-2605, or you may find us on the World Wide Web at www.moc.gov.gy.
Maison Francois chocolatier is a liquidy cake teasing your taste buds. It's handmade, it's chocolate, it's true, it's healthy, organic, delicious, and nutritious. Have a taste of our chocolates, cakes, and much more in a variety of flavors like never before. Try our peppermint, walnut ginger, coconut rum cream, and pistachio. Only at Maison Chocolatier, 45 Garnet Street, Georgetown. And also indulge in our Saturday and Sunday breakfast, lunch, and afternoon tea only by reservations. Telephone 648-2619. Maison Francois Chocolatier, the best chocolates you ever have.
Presents Everything Christmas Village. Rudolph will be on the show, dancing and singing. There's a gift in Santa's village for all ages of children. Come, let's play some jolly games and have fun. So much prizes to be won, yeah. Join us at Everything Christmas Village at the Mary Mom's Mall Playground on November the 30th and December the 1st, and continues every weekend until December the 22nd. This village will have games, prizes, booths, business displays. Santa's Village, Rudolph the Grinch, Olaf, and Elsa will be there too. Plus, you can win a trip to Curacao, Hartro Falls, and much more prizes. Remember, free entry with a purchase of a raffle ticket. Get your tickets at Precise Printed on South Road, Bonnie's Meat Center on Church Street, and Merriman Small Playground. Sponsored by Eldorado Tours, Answer McCall, Sterling Products, Rubis, Star Party Rentals, Bonnie Meat Center, and more.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Welcome back. In the region, Chile's president has admitted that security forces committed abuse during the past month of anti-government unrest. Sebastian Pinera has promised there will be no impunity for police using excessive force. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapallo has more.
On Monday, thousands took to the streets in Chile's capital, Santiago. Protesters commemorated 1 month since the unrest began nationwide. But demonstrations like these are taking place almost every day across Chile. So are incidents involving police using violent tactics to disperse crowds.
The level of violence of this government is without precedent. There's almost a pandemic of people who have lost their eyes or have been left blind. Not only that, there are people who have been tortured or have disappeared. It's almost like a dictatorship under democracy.
This ongoing crackdown by security forces against demonstrators has become one of the biggest sources of anger among protesters.
We're in Plaza Italia in downtown Santiago, Chile, where police have just deployed tear gas once again against peaceful demonstrators. It's these tactics that people are protesting against, and reforming the country's security forces is just one of many constitutional changes that protesters are demanding.
Chilean President Sebastián Piñera has admitted to the use of excessive force by police.
Lamentablemente. Unfortunately, and despite the firm commitment and all the precautions we take, not only the government but also our armed forces and police to protect the human rights of all, in some cases the protocols were not respected. There was excessive use of force, abuses or crimes were committed.
In an effort to calm the unrest, public officials have announced that a referendum to establish a constitutional convention will be forthcoming.
This is a historic opportunity for Chileans, who for the first time will have a chance to write their own constitution. This is what the people want, and they don't want political parties deciding what is written. In essence, this is nothing more and nothing less than the creation of a new Chilean republic.
Measures by the government to change the president's cabinet and hold a constitutional referendum have done little to calm dissent. Near the front lines of Monday's protests, the scene was chaotic. Protesters armed with slingshots and rocks were met with tear gas and rubber bullets. Several people were injured amidst the chaos. For the most part, the protests marking 4 weeks of unrest were mostly a celebration, although the consensus among Chileans is that there's still a long way to go. Manuel Rapallo, Al Jazeera, Santiago, Chile.
And internationally, protesters demanding an overhaul of the country's political system have celebrated the postponement of a parliament session following earlier clashes between riot police and demonstrators. Al Jazeera reports.
Protesters gathered along the roads leading to the parliament building in downtown Beirut. They formed a human chain to prevent MPs from holding their first session since the protests began a month ago. The Lebanese army and other security agencies were out in force to keep the peace, but there were sporadic scuffles.
We don't believe that they will pass any law that will be of any use for us. We don't really trust them. Whatever they are going to agree about is always against the people.
Only a few politicians managed to force their way through, some on motorcycles, while almost half of the 128-member parliament, many of them in the opposition, boycotted the session. There was a lack of quorum, and the session was postponed without a date being set. The people declared victory, but the political crisis is far from over.
We're demanding our basic rights, which are a given in any country in the world. So I mean, this is a victory today, of course. Much more are going to come. We're not going to stop. This is not going to end here until we get what we want. We are the people, we have spoken.
Anti-political establishment protesters are demanding a new government, independent of political parties, to enact much-needed economic reforms and prepare for a new law to govern early elections.
There is little sign the politicians or the people are ready to make concessions, but these protesters may no longer be in control of the streets. There has been a shift in how the Lebanese army and security forces have been dealing with them. They have become more forceful. And on Sunday, the army chief, General Joseph Aoun, in his first comments since the protests began, condemned what he called the unauthorized blocking of roads.
Whether the Jaish or the Aman, whether the army or the police, and it's not right. In my opinion, they should stand with us, because I know they agree with us. I know they agree with what we're doing here on the street. So I think it's just inevitable that this system topples itself. It's been in the making for over 30 years. It's about time. Really.
Authorities are trying to restore a sense of normality. Lebanon is no longer disrupted by school and bank closures, even though controls are in place for U.S. dollar withdrawals and transfers abroad. But this movement doesn't seem to be going away. They have toppled the government and now brought parliament to a halt. They are standing their ground. Zena Khudr, Al Jazeera, Beirut.
Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube, or you can visit our website at headlinenewsguyana.com for more news. Until then, take care.